What's up guys, Shouri here, and today we're going to go over Hua Ling and the new way to play it, as well as something closer to the old style. But first, I'm going to explain why I think this is the best style to go with, and it's basically turning yourself into a flanker. Right now, pretty much the two best flankers are going to be Hua Ling and Mark. Even though neither of them are technically flankers, you do a ton of damage with them and you can get behind people, and you have things like with Hua Ling the invisibility and with Mark its speed boost, and that makes them actually better than any other flanker, considering all of those are pretty terrible. So basically what you want to do with Hua Ling is always go in, turn your back towards their base, and then fling yourself across towards the beginning. You don't always have to go straight back to them, but you do at least want to go over to the side. The reason for this is you want to make the other team fight your team on two fronts. If you're behind them, you can go for their healer and they have to focus you. They have absolutely no choice, or you'll be able to kill the healer and then eventually start taking the tanks out. And if they start to turn around to kill you, then they have four other people that are now shooting them in the back. And the best part of all of it is if they choose to go for you and get shot in the back by your team, you can always just launch yourself backwards away from them and make sure not to fire at them. That's the big thing most people don't get with Hua Ling. You want to completely use and take advantage of your invisibility. And so you want to keep that invisibility, go off and get to either a heal or just get out of there and give yourself a little bit of space from where you launched at. That will end up giving you the surprise when you do lose your invincibility, and that will make it to where your team is not only going to have some of the people low for you, but they aren't going to know where you are, and they're probably going to be looking for you. But in that confusion, you can do so much. And if they leave you alone, then you get to just kill the healer. You just get to make sure that you're taking out the tank. And you'll end up causing enough of a problem that they will focus you. And then when that happens, you can simply do a little bit of damage and then launch yourself back, keep invisible, and you are good to go. That's why right here, instead of doing what you might have done before, where you're just going to use Hua Ling's super amazingness to abuse it and get those kills, I'm waiting for my team to push up on the map, because not only is it going to cause distractions for them when I start shooting and killing people, but even more importantly, it's going to allow me to stay invisible and get out of there and reposition if I'm low, and they can't just chase me full force. So you do want to make sure if you're up there alone, you don't want to stagger your team. You do want to wait for your teammates, because back in the day, you could be godlike with Hua Ling. Now, Hua isn't what it was, but it's still very good. Most people don't see that because they're trying to play it the same way it used to be. And you just can't do that anymore. You need to play it just like it was a flanker, and you need to make sure you're putting in work, making sure that you're being a good teammate, and above all, go for the Gatlin. For the love of God, go for Gatlin. You can kill it in one shot, and then if there is no Gatlin, or after the Gatlin's dead, go for the healers. And if there's a Johnny Jet, it's also another thing that Hua Ling's very good at killing. And that's what makes it so awesome. The fact that you can just get away, you can always be a nuisance that they have to find, because they can't just let you be invisible running in behind their lines, and they can't just let you stay back there shooting. They have to at least put 1 to 2 people on you, and what that does is, even if you don't get kills, your team can go in there and fight them 4-on-3. Or if they only put one guy on you, it's a 4v4, and you're most likely going to at least get 1 kill, and then you kind of can stagger their team, go in there and try to get the Gatlin like I did right here, and then when they kind of focus you, go ahead, jump back, stay invisible, and then they kind of have to try to find you. They have to put a lot of resources resources and focus on you, allowing the rest of your team to set up and get the hill. Even in the middle of the game, when your team is in a bad spot, you can turn that around almost single-handedly by just scaring them. By staying invisible, even without any intent to move, will force them to try to find you, because the worst thing that can happen to them is losing you in their backline and then get into a team fight and then you pop up, because they will definitely fall from that. If you hit your shots at all, you will immediately win those team fights for your team. And as you see, we drug off the Gatlin, which I was able to kill, and we also get their fort. That leaves only 3 there, and I'm still alive. They know I'm in the back of their base, and that really can just help your team do so much. And the cool thing is, you're still in control in so many ways. By going invisible, I was able to stay alive there, and then come out, use my ult to get a kill, and then immediately use it again, and that way the Jabali lost me, giving me a free kill on the tank. And right here, we went from an auto-loss game where my team was not spawned, and they weren't going to get there in time, to being in control, and now they are just darting at the point to have any chance at being able to win this, and they really don't have a chance. And the reason for that is now they're staggered, and they're just throwing bodies at the point, but I'm still Hua Ling. I can still one-shot them, and that's the beauty of this strategy, is making sure to abuse that invisibility and jump back. It's not just a get out of jail free card, it's up all the time. Every 10 seconds, you should be using the heck out of it. And right here, my iPad is broken, and basically when people shoot me or I shoot them, it really screws my internet up, and then for a few seconds it'll sometimes cause me to just basically lose connection to the server. But then even with that lag, I'm able to do so much work back here, even without doing tons of damage. I'm here causing a nuisance, and that alone is able to give my team map positioning, so you don't really have to be as good as me as far as your aim, because right here I'm lagging so bad I can't do much, but I can launch myself back up, be invisible, and go get that healer in their backline. That is so valuable, even if you're like me lagging there, or you're just not very good at doing damage. That main strategy still works, because the other team, one, doesn't know that you're not good at that, and if they're not paying attention, you can shoot a Sindri or another healer that's standing still, or especially a Gatlin who's always standing still. But if you like the more traditional role of a Hua Ling before the 5v5 thing came into effect, you can still do that from your side. You don't have to get behind them and prioritize that. You can literally just go out there and do your thing. You're still one-shot killing a lot of the heroes on the map, and a lot of heroes that are problems. You just have to be really good at aiming now. And a lot of people don't realize this, and that's why they think that Hua Ling sucks. Because before, you didn't have to be good at aiming. You could hit body shots and use feathers and get kills that way. And because Hua Ling was just so easy to hit people with, you just had to aim kind of close to them, and now you have to actually be accurate. And especially if you're going to be kind of sniping as if you're doing an Osis's job, where you're going to be kind of near the point on your side and not playing a more flank role, you kinda have to hit nearly every shot, or at least a good 70% of them. And Osis is just better at long range, so if you're not playing the flank, I would definitely just use Osis if you want to do that. But if you like Hua Ling and you like the fact that you can kind of get out of things and go invisible and do a little bit more, then go ahead, do it. It is still a very fun hero, but to do well with it, unless you're going to play that flank strategy, you really do have to be one of the best snipers in the game. And don't worry, I do have some advice on how you can be one of the best snipers in the world as well. So basically, for any hero, you can get a lot better by downloading something called an aim trainer. The one I like to use is called Aim Labs. It's one of the best there is, and they now have one that is for mobile as well, and it is something that can really help you get a lot more accurate. It has a bunch of fun tasks that you can do to make you better at most heroes in the game, and by using multiple different mini games, it can make you have better reaction times, which will help you shoot first and be able to flick onto targets better, whether using a sniper or if you're using something like Judex or Hunter. And also there's a bunch of mini games on there that can help you differentiate between different targets and quicken your reaction time from not just visual cues but also audio cues, and help you with different things all the way down the line that will make you a much better player. It is completely free. They have leaderboards so you can track your progress and see where you're at. I'm one of the #1 snipers in the world, and I'll show you exactly kind of what it looks like, and it might be something you should consider trying, because in order to play Hua Ling in this kind of style, you really do have to be one of the best snipers in the game. And I used to be a professional player in a game called Guns of Boom. Our team was #1 for a very long time, and I was the main sniper, and the skills just translate. But if you're not good at things already, you got to start somewhere. And so this is on pro difficulty, a thing that makes it where you can get better at sniping very quickly. It helps your reaction time. That's why I win a lot of my Osus battles, because I'm able to flick onto someone's head. And I know that this might not look very hard, but these are very small targets, and in order to be able to get these, I'm basically having to sling my hand across the iPad. But it does help you get used to making these fast strokes and movements to be able to get a very long distance away very quickly and be accurate while doing it. All of these balloons are moving at different speeds, and you don't know where they're going to be. It helps your brain get used to seeing a little bit of movement and then being able to calculate quickly what you need to do to hit it. And it also helps with like Judex and Hua Ling, and this is just one of many different mini games that can really help you get a lot better. This is one that a lot of people in exclusive use, and that's how a lot of us get good at different things, is by practicing. And if you would like me to show some different mini games from Aim Labs that can help you in T3 on a wide variety of characters to get better, let me know and I'll make that video. Please like, subscribe, and share this to help more people see how to play Hua Ling the right way and see what Aim Labs is all about. I would really appreciate the likes. It helps the video get spread almost as much as Jordy's thumbnails help it. You guys can also have Jordy make your thumbnails for a very reasonable fee, and he does it so quickly, and he is so good at working with even morons like me that it looks like you actually are creative. It's great. I'm so excited that I have him as my thumbnail guy, and you should have him as your thumbnail guy too.